hey, look, of course, I'm going to loan you some money, right? But I may want to be protected and not even participate in, stream of income that you might not have had, whether it's touring or something else, in order to, be able to offer some of that support.
Yeah, there's definitely, look, the phones, it's ringing off the hook with people looking for help. We were even going to shoot a funny video with, I love Bill Withers, God rest his soul, and Lean on Me is like the theme song right now for like artists calling their labels. Like, if you hear the song and the lyrics kind of say it all, we were actually just going to sit here with a wad of cash and play the song in the background and shoot a fun video meme of like record labels with their artists during, COVID-19. But yeah, some bands are coming and asking, hey, I know, we're still on this album. Can we get the advance for the next record? Some ones are just asking for loans. And some of that will renegotiate to maybe extend the relationship, or what I think is the easiest way is say, look, you need more money, give me more songs. Go do some acoustics, do some covers, do some collaborations. The biggest thing they can do now is just be creative. And the big challenge with that, which is just literally like, as you got the mayor of LA telling people to snitch on their neighbors if they see him walking around, which I understand, both sides of that, but can you even record? It's one thing to do a live stream hanging out. It's another thing to be like, hey, here's our new single that has compromised sonic, that's been compromised sonically because we were not able to record it in the fashion that we normally would. So, those artists that can record themselves or have a producer, an engineer, a mixer that will actually come to their house and be creative, they definitely have an advantage right now. I had some bands writing some music for Paradise City, and it was actually Starbenders was doing a Chris Isaac cover, and that we literally got one day in the studio, and then the county was like, you can't record here anymore, and they got sent home. So it's challenging just to get music done right now, and I think that'll ease in a bit. I know it was a big victory last night that the Florida governor said that WWE is an essential business. So pro wrestling's being filmed again, and hopefully Nevada does the same thing for UFC. I think those things are important too, just for the morale of people. So if there's something that's live that's happening other than the news, but it's another combo.
What level of scrutiny are you? I mean, I know you as a guy that wants top quality, both in terms of the songs as well as the recordings. What level of scrutiny are you willing to let go during this time period? Not only on the content itself, but in thinking about a band and a release. I know you, like myself, one of the reasons we get along is we've got high expectations. Is there a sense, going back to that conversation of some of your top bands releasing music, if it doesn't perform as well as you'd liked, how is it sort of you got this free pass in the back of your mind, like, well, we were all just under a virus, like that's okay?
Well, I guess there's two things. There's the actual audio recording, which, some of the best songs are made in people's bedroom. Bad Guy, the hottest song of the past year was, Billy and Phineas in their bedroom. So opportunities are endless when it comes to actually creating if they know how to record. As far as results, like, streams and sales and all that, I don't think that COVID-19 really changes it all that much, honestly, because people are sitting home and they're listening, or they're going on a walk and they got headphones on. So
is your experience that overall streams, I mean, I would agree with you, we've got a captive audience, but I think my experience to date has been that streams are down individually, though maybe up as a whole. You could talk about your, content consuming habits. I too listen to the radio in the car. I also don't watch a lot of TV normally, right? I'm on the go. I'm listening to music. I'm listening to podcasts now. I turn off of the work eventually, and the only thing, I don't want to look. All I want to do is watch a television show, or binge something on Netflix, watch Ozark. So, can you comment? Are you paying attention to the numbers as a whole on streaming, and are you seeing any patterns?
I'm seeing, okay, so a couple things. For new music, if it's reacting, yeah, I'm seeing patterns. I'm seeing great growth. We have a single right now called Lonely with Palais Royale. Their highest growth across all platforms, Spotify, YouTube Music Video, Shazam, everything. So for new music, if it's reacting, it's growing great. The one thing we've seen undoubtedly take a big dip is album sales. So transactional. Obviously, no one's going to whatever record stores are left right now. But as far as like buying albums digitally, we've seen a big dip. I think that's people going, oh, I love this band. I want to support them. Let me spend $10 versus, $10 is actually a lot more meaningful right now because the economy is in pieces until, we recover. So transactional albums are definitely down. Streaming, catalog's down some, a little bit. And I think that's because, people, you go to the gym, you listen to music. A lot of people listen to music in their car that is manually set up from their phone. So there's activities that, normally is when you're listening to music, you're not. You're at home and you're working on something else, or you're binge watching TV. I just went on an Ozark rabbit hole, which was fantastic. So, there's things that are taking you out of your normal routine where you would be listening to that music. But I think ultimately, if you drop a new song and people are liking it, you're going to have wild success. The virus, in the sense of new music, is a double-edged sword. It could give you massive new growth because people like it and everyone's looking for something new to entertain themselves and pass the time. Or it could be like, I'm going to watch Tiger King. This album's not doing it for me,
So Ash, with the sales, the digital sales and physical sales being down, I would imagine it results in thinner margins for releases in 2020 than perhaps were projected or expected going in. Like, once this is done, are you looking at a more aggressive release schedule to make up for this in the months after? Are you thinking about shorter album cycles or going on a signing spree? Or is that none of that?
No. I mean, for the sake of this, video conference, it'd probably be great if it was some master thing, but it's just like, when the songs are ready, we're going to put them out. I think the biggest thing coming from this whole thing is it just exposed the music business that, as far as revenue, the whole thing is so lopsided on live. And this is something I've been stressing for years, and why I'm, resumed building bands.com. But, it's just, you don't know if this is going to happen once every couple of years. You don't know if your singer is going to get laryngitis and have to cancel everything. It's just way, way too dependent upon live touring. And now it's been exposed.
And I would imagine streaming is the way out of that, right? But the revenue side of it.
There, I mean, look, the royalty rate should be higher. There's a lot of things happening that people aren't making a bigger deal about. I don't want to politically point any fingers, but like, there's certain audio streaming platforms that are music. And then there's audio streaming platforms that put everything in the pot that are not music recordings. And that dilutes the value of the recorded song to the songwriters and to the master right holders, the labels, everyone. So yes, royalty rates need to increase. All that stuff needs to happen. But there has to be other things that are music first on the internet for artists, that generate revenue and give artists more control over their online presence and how that's monetized. Because right now it's a very, very broken system, and COVID-19 has drastically exposed how really pathetically dependent 90% of artists are on getting on stage and playing their songs to make a living.
So what are some of those streams that you're looking at, that you have been looking at?
Well, part of that's kind of giving away the whole bands.com business plan, but fundamentally, artists have tons of fans, and those fans will go where you tell them to go. And if you're willing to interact with them, they're going to do things. Now, right now, again, it's kind of like the repeating theme of like, there's nowhere for musicians that's truly for us, so we're going to go over here and interject ourselves onto Facebook, or we're going to interject ourselves onto Twitch, even though that's built for video games. But here we are, help us. There's nothing set for the fucking artists, and really, that's because the big boys have allowed Silicon Valley to run it, and everyone's hyper focused on what they already have instead of thinking about what do the artists really need to have more control and to have more leverage and power in how they're able to make a living. And honestly, it's us as in the industry, who needs to really, I think, take total responsibility for that, because the artists, their job is to make great art and to go to work. Their job is not to build Spotify before someone outside of the music business builds Spotify. All these things that work on, Twitch, all this stuff, it's not from the music business. It's from other places. They're like, oh, look, music business, let's go make money off them, And it's kind of embarrassing, honestly. It's honestly very embarrassing that the music business, from the people that are inside it, the record labels, the managers, the agents, that we have not made our own platforms and our own revenue streams for the artists that are not dependent upon third-party tech companies to pay us. It's embarrassing.